Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. The Prophet ﷺ, he mentioned in a hadith, Al-halalu bayyin wal-haramu bayyin wa baynahuma mushabbahat la ya'lamuha kathirun minan nas فمن اتقى المشبهات استبرأ لدينه وعرضه ومن وقع في الشبهات كراع يرعى حول الحمى يوشك أن يواقعه ألا وإن لكل ملك حمى ألا إن حمى الله محارمه ألا وإن في الجسد مضغة إذا صلحت صلح الجسد كله وإذا فسدت فسد الجسد كله ألا وهي القلب. So the Prophet ﷺ, he mentioned in the hadith, both the legal and illegal halal and haram are evident, but in between them there are doubtful, unclear things, and most people have no knowledge about them. So whoever saves himself from those doubtful, unclear things, he saves his religion and his honor. And whoever indulges in these doubtful, unclear things is like a shepherd who grazes his animals near the hima, the private pasture of someone else, and at any moment he is liable to get in it. O people, beware, every king has a hima, private pasture, and the hima of Allah Azza wa Jal on the earth is his illegal, forbidden things, haram. Beware, there is a piece of flesh in the body, and if it becomes good, reformed, the whole body becomes good. But if it gets spoiled, and then the whole body gets spoiled, what is that piece of flesh? It is the heart. Hadith narrated in Bukhari. Now, we're going to come on to, it's more of a reminder than a tip, and sometimes controversial or hard for people to believe, is about food. Get various food available in Mecca and Medina, Indonesian, Pakistani, Indian and Turkish. There's also obviously the American and European brands such as Pizza, Kentucky Fried Chicken, KFC, Burger King, McDonald's, Hardee's. Now, many of us living in the West, Europe and America don't eat at McDonald's or KFC or Pizza Hut because it's not halal. So when we go to Saudi Arabia, we expect it to be halal. But that's not always the case. It's very important that you do your own research. And this is why I started with the hadith about halal and haram. So it's always good to ask any restaurant, no matter how trustworthy, if the chicken is slaughtered locally, watani chicken. So you see, is the dhabiha watani. Most of the European Western restaurants, I'll be honest, are not reliable. And it's obvious why. So if you do eat from them, you'll have to eat vegetarian or fries or like a margarita pizza from Pizza Hut. And I was given this advice almost 10 years ago when I performed my Hajj in 2012 by Sheikh Ahmed Nakhuda, rahmatullahi alayh. Sheikh was alive then. He passed away early this year in 2022. And I happened to visit him and he gave me a lot of advice, alhamdulillah, one of which was, you've come all the way to make this journey. Many people come every year, but many people leave empty-handed. Their du'as are not accepted. And he said the reason is the food they are eating is either doubtful or haram. And he gave me an example that 2.5 million Hajis come every year. So if they are making dua, they are drinking Zambazam, they are the Multazam, Arafat, Mina, Safa, Marwa, places where dua is readily accepted, why doesn't Allah accept their dua? Why doesn't Allah change the ummah? Let alone the rest of the ummah, the billion, but the 2.5 million that come for Hajj, surely Allah would accept their dua. And his answer was, many don't get accepted because their food is not halal. So it's very important. You're wary and cautious of this. Don't be naive and gullible and think just because it says halal or they are Muslim and called Abdul Rahman and Abdullah that the food is halal. And always ask if it's watani, and if you're still unsure, just go for vegetarian. Many brothers and sisters, Hajj is normally a few weeks, they just eat vegetarian. It's no big deal, you won't starve. So that was one point about food. Another point about being naive and gullible or getting conned is sometimes the taxi drivers are not always reliable. So I'm going to quickly quote some numbers which I remember is a very reasonable price. So many people who go to Mecca, they do a second Umrah, they go to Masjid Aisha, which is the miqat, to put their ihram. Now you shouldn't pay more than 60 riyal, and that's return. So it's 30 riyals there, 30 riyals back to Masjid Aisha. Sometimes you can even get it for 50 riyals. And no matter if you're a group of 2, 3 or 4. Another one is when you land at the airport, usually Jeddah, don't pay more than 300 to 350 riyals to get to Mecca. Whether that's a GMC, but 300 to 350 riyals should be enough, again, for a group of people. When going to Medina, many people travel to Masjid Quba on a Saturday because of the virtue. Again, 40 to 50 riyals. These are some that I remember at the top of my head, the common journeys that people take. So just bear that in mind. And also with regards to shopping, I will quickly mention, obviously for some people it is very important. And let's be honest, it's good to take gifts back, sunnah as well. So don't be one of those who shop until you drop. You have come for ibadah. Obviously tips are if you're buying shoes or slippers or sandals or abayas and jubbas, to make sure you have the right size accurately. So it's not just a size of 52, 54, 56, whether it's large, medium or small. Also a bit of advice, if you see something you like, buy it. You may come to the shop in another salah, you've seen it in Dhuhr, you've come for Asr and it's gone. And it might not be the same price everywhere. So some people like to shop around, but if you see something, then just buy it. And also, people do haggle with the shopkeepers. There's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes they do drop the prices, especially if you're buying a lot from one store. But some of my teachers used to say in Medina, don't haggle too much. It's honoring the people of Medina. And also be sure to check things are legit. They're not fake, especially if you're buying something with a label. Make sure it's authentic. Jazakallah khair.